All right, we're back for part 2. See, I promised. I told you there was going to be a part 2, and it's part 2. By the way, this is Brandon, a.k.a. djsilk, and this is the Cultured Misfits podcast, and we're just going to jump right into the business. Notorious resellers, right? And so they would have a booth in the food court, and they would pay people to go into the store and buy phones. And it wasn't even just phones. It was like Nintendo Wii's, like whatever was hot. They were paying people to go into the stores, buy them, bring it to them, and they would pay them. So there was one guy, they gave him a gift card. He came in the store and he asked the employee, he was like, yo, how much is on this gift card? And it was like 10 grand or like 5 or 10 grand on the gift card, right? Oh, shit. And the guy was like, all right. He just left them all. And so, like 10 minutes later, the guy that gave him the card came frantically into the store, like, "Yo, we're looking for him."
Yeah.
And he got. He got. and because he admitted to what he was doing, he got banned from the store. So he used to be able to he would come in first, like he would be the first purchase. He'd buy 1 or 2. You could buy 2 at a time. He'd buy 2 phones, and then he would go and he would.
This was like every day.
This was every day. Every day.
And this guy worked where in the mall?
In the food court.
He had money like that.
They were killing it. Reselling iPhones, iPads, iPad accessories. Yeah, it was deep. It was really deep. And I'm sure nothing has really changed. I mean, I'm sure it's not as like aggressive as it was back then.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
I mean, I still hear stories about Christiana Mall and the Apple Store there. Like people come from all over the country, on the East Coast at least.
Yeah, they come down from New York on buses and things like that, and people will make, they'll make big purchases because there's no sales tax.
Yeah.
But it has to make sense because, like, what you save and not paying sales taxes has to make up for the fuel tax, tolls and all that stuff. But yeah, cats would. Man, it was one day, like I think the last week that I worked there, I rang out. They took the limits off of selling phones. Like, it was like you can buy as many as you want. Mm-hmm. And I rang out $120,000 worth of iPhones to one person. Wow. It took me hours just sitting there, like, because I had to sell each one. Each one.
They couldn't wait for that.
Couldn't wait, man.
He was ready.
Yeah. Seriously.
Just to flip it.
Just to flip it. So, yeah, man. So it doesn't surprise me that someone would give up a kidney for $4,500 to buy an iPhone 4 and an iPad 2. But
disgusting.
It is disgusting, man. So I got questions for you, Ceez.
Yeah, man. What's up?
I'm curious. What are you taking seriously in your life these days? Like what are you laser focused on?
Right now, just what it means to be a man, just masculinity.
Oh, shit.
Not like seriously, like, I got a 17-month-old son. Like
17-month, man.
Yeah, okay. It's like he's a boy. He's looking at me and what I'm doing and what it means to be a man. And I had to figure that out for myself. Like, okay, well, what does it mean to be a man? Since my father, was who he was. I was like, all right, like, what do I even learn from? What are my resources? I had to go find that out. And it's all about how I conduct myself even now in my relationships with his mother. All of that counts.
Yeah. Okay.
How he sees me with my own mother, his grandmother. It's just every little thing. And it's not about being macho or anything like that. But it even comes with boundaries and understanding like what I'm comfortable in doing or saying or allowing others to even interact with me.
That's interesting.
Yeah, man.
That's dope. So, would you say is it to be a man or to be a good person? Because that's 2 different things.
I would say to be a man. I mean, of course you want him to be a good person, but that's still on him.
I'm talking about you.
Me?
Yeah, like you. So, all right. So, what is it to, how do you define being the man that you want to be? Like, who does that look like to you? How does he behave, the good man that you want to be?
Well, it comes with a lot of leadership qualities. And so you have to then break down what it means to be a leader.
Okay.
Somebody who's just very integral in every aspect of their life.
Okay.
Just knowing I want to say discipline in the sense of knowing how much you can take.
Okay.
How much you can take in anything and in everything. Just knowing how to not over digest.
Okay.
And especially in this society where consumption is everything right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
I mean, like, so even then, like, what it means to be a man has changed so much.
Okay.
It's not. I mean, maybe it was never about this, but it's not about just lifting weights and.
Okay. I feel like you can edit that though.
Okay.
And it's not what it.
You get what I'm saying, though.
I get what. No, I get
help me
exactly
out.
what you're saying. I think no, it's not about being a good man. It's about being a good person.
Yeah.
I think you can just drop the man part of it.
Yeah.
It is just about being a good person, because a woman can definitely be a leader. Like all those things. Like the position, you're talking about being a leader, and that's not exclusively a man's role.
No.
Anymore.
Yeah. Right.
Used to be, right? And not for any other reason but because society, which was dictated by men, said that's the way it's supposed to be.
Right. And that's changed, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes. So it's to be the best person you can be, to be a good leader. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's my focus right now. It's my being, and it's only because I have another being looking at me.
So that was your son was the trigger for you to like kind of get laser focused on just who you are, what you are, and what you do.
Completely, because I know that a lot of people, when they have children, they become selfish and they resent this little person that's like literally taking over your life. My life is their life, and it's just like it's intrusive, but you have to go with the flow.
Okay.
And not,
I like that.
Yeah, you can't deny it.
I like that. So how do you feel like you're doing with this with your mission to be a better version of yourself?
My life is good. I was thinking about that last week. I was like, yo, like life is good.
Okay.
I feel good. I'm smiling. I mean, of course, there's the day-to-day where you're just, interacting with certain people that might like, drive a wedge between something. But other than that, I'm happy. And it's all about organization. It's all about just scheduling. Just keeping track of the time that you have and where you're allocating that time.
Okay.
Understand?
So was there a moment? Did you have like a moment that you were like that you felt like, yo, I'm happy, like that epiphany, like, yo, I'm really good? Or was it, was like, did something happen that caused you to be like, damn, I'm in a whole other gear, a whole other space, a whole other like state of mind? Or
yeah, I mean, right now it's about, to be honest, it's definitely a financial aspect of it. I mean, right now I feel like the income has allowed everything that I want to be attainable.
Yeah. Yeah, you
and
looking fresh.
This is whatever. I threw some shit on today,
you looking
man.
Fresh.
Chill.
You looking fresh. You looking fresh in the way that having a comfortable amount of money, allows you to be, look. So
on my Bill Gates shit, just throwing anything on, might have the little fucked up tennis shoes.
I see the logo on that. It's like, so yeah, you're good. Man. You good. No, no, it's good.
I'm not really a closed person, so you wouldn't even like see money on me outwardly. But it's just the fact, it's not even a lot of money. It's just the fact that what I need and what I want is attainable now.
Yes.
And once I attain that, of course I'm going to feel uncomfortable again.
Okay.
And unhappy, so to speak. And then it's going to be more of like.
You got to be unhappy though, man.
It's just the grind, man. You can't be too comfortable. You got to.
Yeah, but you can be uncomfortable and not be unhappy and be miserable. Though.
Right. I'll put the quotes on it because, whatever word you want to insert there. But.
Words matter.
Yeah.
Words matter. They carry energy. They carry a lot of meaning. So no, I think you do yourself a service to associate unhappiness with being uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm lifting weights. There's times when I'm uncomfortable, but I'm not unhappy because of what I'm doing. Yeah, you know what I mean. If I'm stuck in a well somewhere and I'm uncomfortable, I'm gonna be unhappy because this shit is serious. But no. So try to break that association of discomfort with unhappiness. Yeah, they don't have to. They shouldn't always exist in the same space. Right. So I'm just saying. But nah, that's cool. Like that's dope, man. I'm proud of you. Thanks, I'm happy for you.
Yeah. What about you? Yeah.
Flipping the tables.
I think that's where we're going with it. Yeah. I'm
taking this podcast very seriously. Taking the DJ thing very seriously. I'm actually just taking my creative endeavors very seriously, to the point where I have become very discerning about who I'm allowing access to me and everything to. Like, nah, I can't. It's funny, and I think I'm sure you can relate. It's important to, like, when you work with people, to make sure you have the same level of hunger. If one person is hungry and someone else is like, yo, I could eat. I'm not hungry. I mean, I could eat if there's food, but I don't need to eat.
Yeah.
That's just not going to work.
Yeah, I totally understand.
Not going to work. It's not going to work. And I've had to learn this lesson over the course of the last 10 years. As I've tried to do, I've tried different things, entrepreneurial ventures, and I've tried to partner with people. And what I've come to realize is that unless everybody's generally hungry, and actually they don't even have to be hungry, but they've had to have had the experience of being hungry at some point in time, so that they can tap into that energy, into that spirit, so that you guys can work together to move forward. If you don't have that, you're wasting your time. Yeah.
So, and it's hard to find that synergy in whether that be friends or
Yeah, life in general. I mean, It's not even about the entrepreneurial thing for me. I really am focusing heavily on making sure that I allow people that vibrate on the same frequency or close to the same frequency or complementary frequencies. They don't have to be the same frequency. Making sure that that's who I leave the most room and give the most space to. Because otherwise it's just wasting time, and I don't want to waste no more time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I mean, you getting old.
Yeah, you are too.
I am.
We all getting old.
I know. It hits me sometimes. I'm like, damn.
Yo, the 23. Oh my God.
I know. I see these other little kids. I'm like, damn. Like, y'all don't even know. And you probably looking at me like, he don't even know.
Nah, but you're not supposed to. That's the beauty of life, man.
Yeah.
You're supposed to look to the people that have already been through what you've been through and tap into their experiences, and then for better or worse, take those lessons and do your best to implement them. So
right,
that's very important. But no, I don't want to. I no longer want to burn energy. It's less about time and it's just about energy. At one point in time, I tried to start an app development company. I had app ideas. I had put a team together of people that everybody had complementary skills. Everybody was into it. So I thought what they were into was the dream, the possibilities of what it could be. Mm-hmm. What they weren't into was the day-to-day work, the day-to-day grind, the day-to-day sacrifice, right? If it was fun or looked sexy or whatever, that was cool. It was fun to tell people yeah, I'm on.
That's so many people too.
Yeah, that's most people. And I don't take anything personally. Anything anybody does or did, I don't take it personally. I understand now. If you're not working in your purpose and with what you want to do, if it's not your dream, you're just not going to put in on it the way that you should in order to make it happen. I don't even care if there's a person's getting paid. Person will work for the money, but if it's not their dream and they're not their vision, then they're going to do just as much as they think they need to do in order to get
to the next thing.
Yeah, and to get to satisfy whoever's paying them.
Yeah,
that's what it comes down to. So I've learned you can't expect for people to grind and work as hard as you are, because this is your dream. And you should be thankful that whatever they're contributing. Mm-hmm. But also make sure that they're not an anchor to your boat. I need for people to be sails, not anchors.
It's crazy because I can relate to this message, but I know people who especially need to hear that, what you just said.
Yeah. How can you relate? So what's your story? What happened?
Well, of course, I'm doing business adventures, of course, just with the music industry, record labels, stuff like that. And of course, there's people who just are around and, mm-hmm. They're friends, they're family. Of course, y'all can be around. But when it's time to work, and it's time to distribute work as well, distribute roles, mm-hmm. You expect these sit around people to now pick up a fucking rake or something, what I mean?
Right, yes.
And without a problem, right?
Yeah.
Without a problem. And when it's a problem, you shouldn't even be surprised, but we're surprised right now.
Yeah. See, that's because you're 23. I'm not surprised anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not. No, my approach is so my previous approach was that I would give people a try, like whether or not I felt like they could handle it. I'm gonna give you a shot because you might wake up. You might wake up. And if you don't wake up, that's all right, because maybe you will have learned something. You have gotten something out of it. Hopefully I will have gotten something out of you to help me move along. But now I'm like, yeah, no. Like, I need for you to be 10 toes down, hit the ground running from the moment that the starter pistol goes off.
Right.
Because it just takes a lot. Like, you can't, it's a grind. It's a grind, and it doesn't feel like a grind if you're happy with what you're doing. Like, as much as I work, it doesn't even feel like a grind most of the time because I'm happy. I'm like in my element. I'm like, it's moving me towards where I want to be. But I can only imagine how that would feel if it wasn't getting me to where I wanted to be. Yeah, it'd be a grind. I'd be frustrated. I would be half-assing everything. So.
Hamster wheel. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm glad you can understand that. And I think this message is it's definitely not for just people who are working in the entrepreneurial space. I think it's every aspect of life. You want to make sure you get with your tribe and the people that are going to bring the best out of you, and you bring the best out of them.
Totally. Like, if you're a little kid listening to this right now and your mom bitching at you because you're not doing no chores or something like that, just look at it from her perspective. She's paying these bills. She don't want to clean that pissy toilet or clean out the bathtub after you. My nigga, come on, get it together.
God damn. Nah, man, it's important. I really feel like a lot of us struggle because we align ourselves with the wrong people.
Right.
Yo, man, and that's not just any good. So how are you dealing with people in situations that aren't aligning with what you want to do, or they're not bringing to the table what they need to bring to the table in order to sit at the table?
Right now, currently, I'm just allowing them to be frustrated. And that's not even a good thing, because now it's so self-destructive, the response of allowing people to just be frustrated. Yeah. And it's to the point where it's affecting, like, you know, the output and the general, like, community that you've built already within that entrepreneur space. You understand? So much so that you just want them to realize that it's not a place for them.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately you got to let them know, like, hey, this isn't a place for you anymore.
Yeah, instead of allowing them to fire themselves or quit on themselves.
Yeah, I know. That's like the easy way to do it, especially when you're dealing with friends and family and everything. Like,
yeah, but I think there's a value to that in a way, because if someone chooses to walk away on their own, then they've walked away. It was a decision they made, versus you being like, nah, I ain't gonna work.
So it's real. Okay. I'm not just like putting off and, like, you know, being in, I don't even know the words for it, but just,
you're letting them you're letting them slow walk to their truth.
Yeah.
That's all.
Right.
That's kind of, and that's generally with the app company. I was like, yeah, we done.
But then now you're the asshole because you shut it all down. And
yeah, but I was fine with being an asshole because I let it be known why.
Right.
Like, I'm like, yo, you're not doing what you said you were going to do. I'm okay. I'm okay if like, yo, if you and I were working together and I said, Ceez, I want you to do A, B, and C, right? And you don't do A, B, and C, or you only do A or B or C, whatever, but you can't get all three going. I don't struggle with dealing with you on that because I put that on you. But if we're working together and you're like, yo, B, I actually want to do A, B, and C, and then you don't do it,
right?
Then that's when we got problems.
Okay.
Right? Because it's like you said you were going to do it. You said that you were going to do it. You smiled and you confidently said this is what you wanted. Now you have it and you're not doing it. That is problematic. That's will get me every damn time. So in that scenario with the company, the app development company, like, when we got together, we sat down and figured out what everybody's strength was and what they brought to the table. And I made sure that everything that was on each of your plates was what was in your wheelhouse and that you were comfortable with doing. So, like, this should be light work for you. And they dropped the ball. And the biggest problem was I was the only one that was out of work. So all of them, like they had jobs, and I'm always cognizant and respectful of that. Like I was like, yo, you only have a little bit of extra time, like free time. So I'm not expecting gobs of work to be done in a short period of time. Like you got families, you have kids, you have all these things.
Yeah.
So my expectations are adjusted to that. But you're not doing nothing. Like you're not doing anything. Like you're showing up last minute. So you're not doing these things, but you're also not hungry. Like you're not. You don't need for this to work. Like if this works, this gets you the lifestyle you ever always dreamt about. But if it doesn't, you still got your job. You still, you're comfortable. Me, on the other hand, I'm still driving people around for dollars every day.
Right.
Which is terrible.
Right.
Like it's not the best way to keep a roof over your head, So now, like I'm aware of that shit. Like, yo, when I work with people, like I need for you to be a little bit desperate. I kind of feel like I'm a pimp at the bus station, like looking for the person to get off the bus. It's like, oh, you new in town. You don't have a place to stay. You only got like $20 in your pocket. Like, okay, all right. Because I know you're gonna produce in order to be able to survive.
Right.
So, but yeah, I mean but generally speaking, all my creative endeavors, I'm definitely taking way more serious than I ever did. And that's even just by way of learning. Like I actively go to learn new things. I put extra effort in. I think about things before I put them out. Like before I just put it out, right? And if it was mistakes or whatever, like, it was whatever. But now I actually am cognizant about making sure that the work is representative of who I want the world to see me as each and every time. Yeah. So, yeah. You learn anything?
Those are two good answers to that prompt. Yeah.
Yeah, man. This is,
It sounds frustrating for sure. But I mean, I'm glad that you have this newfound perspective on who you want to be within your art. You know?
Yes, absolutely. It was frustrating, but it's not frustrating anymore because I don't have any real attachments to people anymore. Mm-hmm. Like, they say people come into your life for either a reason, a season, or a lifetime.
Everybody's replaceable again.
Yeah. But I don't want to put that energy on this particular conversation. Mm. I have just respectful of the idea that, like, yo, you either here for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. I have to respect your life's journey. So I might want you here for a lifetime, but being in my life for a lifetime might not serve your greater purpose, and vice versa. You know what I mean? So everybody that I work with now, it's like, yo, I'm just going to enjoy what we have for while we have it, but I'm also not planning the success of anything that I do based on your presence or anybody's presence. Because if I do that and the person disappears, then I'm fucked up.
Right.
So like I'm playing 3-dimensional chess now. Yo, 3-dimensional chess. I'm 3 moves ahead, and I'm 3 moves ahead and left, right, up, down, like trying to think of every potential reality that could happen and having a plan. Or if I don't have a plan, at least having a mentality that, like, yo, regardless of what happens, it's gonna be good. Like, I'm gonna figure it out. Because everything always works out, like what Jay-Z said. Everything that happens to you happens to your greater good. You just have to be smart enough and emotionally mature enough to sit back that when things feel like they're falling apart, you can actually catch yourself and don't let your emotions cloud the pieces that are now in front of you. Because now those pieces could be something that you can build something better with.
Right.
So,
yeah. It just seems like Jay-Z always got the quotes.
Yo, he's an experienced dude. Somebody said, this shit is so funny. This is why people just make me laugh, right? When Dame Dash was complaining about the Rockefeller thing and Jay-Z snaked them out of whatever, right? And somebody said, man, look at Kanye, look at R. Kelly, look at Dame Dash, look at all these people that have tragic lives, and look at Jay-Z, right? Mm. And I said, are you serious? Like, so what you're saying is Jay-Z dumped them to make himself better, right? I'm like, first of all, that's what you're supposed to do, right? R. Kelly, a tragic person.
Right. Yeah.
Kanye West, a tragic person.
Right.
Right. Like, aside personally.
Yeah, these are even bad examples. Like,
right. You're not talking. Right. Yeah. Like, what are you talking about? Dame Dash. As far as I'm concerned, Dame is a troubled person.
Right.
Like, I maybe a handful of interviews I've listened of him that I'm like, okay, he got it together. But most of the time, I'm like, yo, this dude's a train wreck.
Yeah, he's wilding.
He's the dude that burns the barn down because there's a mouse in the corner, right? So I'm like, so you're judging Jay-Z for being smart enough to understand that, like, yo, this ain't gonna work for where I'm trying to go in life, so I'm gonna just go ahead and step away from it. Like, what was he supposed to burn down with them?
Right. I mean, captain dies with his ship or whatever. I guess that's the idiom that people try to correlate.
The captain goes down with the ship, which is dumb.
Right.
Well, no, I mean the captain it's only dumb if the captain can get off the ship and doesn't. I think the ideology is you got to make sure that everybody is off the ship. The captain should be the last person off the ship.
Okay.
That's the idea. So if everybody's not off the ship and the ship is going down,
right,
like the captain can't be like, bye bitches, and jump.
Right.
Like, so it's that responsibility. But the way I see Jay is like, he's smart enough to understand, like,
he wasn't the captain in those situations.
He was not even a captain. It's just like, yo, you're going to destroy, you're going to fuck up the shit that we got going, which means you're going to fuck up the shit that I got going.
Which led to him wanting more control, essentially.
Yeah.
Because he overtook Rock Nation or Rockefeller.
Yeah.
By ways of being the president of Def Jam.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, they said, and I think they even mentioned Beanie Siegel. I'm like, again, not a good example.
Nah, not at all.
Like, give me an example of somebody who's doing well right now, right? Despite Jay Lee. But no, all these people have had tragic ass existences up till now. So, yeah, no, Jay is winning. Maybe he's not the nicest person or whatever. I mean, I'm not saying that thinking that he's a nice person, but I don't think he's a slimy person in that way. I just think he is doing what most people are supposed to be doing, which is self-preservation.
Right, and having been scarred, you now have these boundaries put up to where now people just see you as some asshole, but really you know yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. All right. So is Jay-Z the asshole? No. Nah, am I the asshole? All right. People really got some shit with him, right? All right. So last night, and this is a 20-year-old female, stayed over at my boyfriend's house, he's 21 years old, okay? I asked him about 9 p.m., could I take a shower? He states that he didn't have any clean towels because they were in the dryer. About 10 p.m. rolls around, and they're still not done. So he just tells me to use the towel that is sitting on top of the dirty clothes. Ew. I take a shower, and my work clothes got wet while I was in the shower. I tell him when I get out of the shower, could you wash my work clothes for me? He says, why do you need them washed? I mean, they only got wet, but whatever. And I said that they're kind of wet from the shower. He doesn't answer. Not a good sign. That was me saying that guy, by the way. Later that night, he asked me for head, and I declined because I am literally tired from work, which we are all short-staffed. We are short-staffed from, and I'm the only one there. He gets mad, and we both go to sleep. Fast forward to this morning, about 5:30 a.m. I have to be to work at 7. I asked him while he got up from his bathroom break, could you please put my clothes in the dryer? He says, no, he doesn't feel like going down there. I just leave after we argue, and while I'm leaving, he tries to put the clothes in the dryer while arguing with me. I just tell him how I feel like I can't really ask him for anything. We argued more, I left, and I blocked his number. Obviously, I can't ask him for anything. So what do I have him around? And so added to this story, he doesn't want me to go downstairs where the washer and dryer is because his uncle lives down there. That's why I cannot do it myself. And I do not live with my boyfriend. I was staying the night. He never washed my clothes. First, I asked if he could wash my clothes. And then this morning, I asked if he could at least dry them. But why were they still wet? Am I the asshole for constantly asking my boyfriend to dry my clothes after they were wet for being angry that he refused? Is she the asshole?
I could put on a cape for both of them, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm interested. Tell me.
First of all, you guys are young. I think it's overrated to want to spend the night over your significant other's house. I get it. Do your thing, but go home.
God damn.
You have to understand that.
Savagery.
I mean, I was in that situation where I didn't, when girl had an apartment, I didn't. I lived with my mom, And I'm over there, I spent the night here and there, but I still had a home to go back to. And I was often going back home after I was done doing the deed. Like, that's fine. I got a place of my own. And then, like, if we're looking at the content in the context of the situation, he not even washing his own clothes. He got a bag of laundry that need to be washed. What makes me think, like, maybe he not even comfortable in his own house. Because the uncle downstairs, I don't know. It could be something deeper going on in that situation to where, like, he's uncomfortable in his own
He
place.
sound like a dirty white boy to me.
You think this is white people?
Oh, it's definitely white people.
What?
Shit. Yeah, it's definitely white. Look, because he asked her for a blowjob. That just
Yeah.
that just
Right.
that screams. You know.
You think she even had to, like, tell him why she didn't want to? She didn't even have to tell us why she didn't want to give him head. I mean, does a girl have to explain?
No. All is, if you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it. That's fine. All right. So, but who's the asshole to you? I mean,
Man.
I mean, if you had to choose a side.
I think I'm gonna say she's the asshole
Oh,
because he don't gotta do nothing. He don't gotta do nothing for you. He don't gotta do that.
damn,
He doesn't. You can go home and do that. Seriously.
See,
Like, he say no, nah, cool.
See.
I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna wash my clothes. Where am I spending the night now? And that's just the consequence of it. Then maybe he would have got up and did the shit. I don't know, but you shouldn't feel like.
all right. So, all right, I see what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
I think asshole's a strong word, but, like, I feel like there were other options for her.
All right. So here's the thing, though, right? All right. So first and foremost, if I know I'm having company, I'm going to make sure that I have everything required. Towels clean, sheets clean.
Yeah,
The place doesn't have to be all the way together.
a clean towel for her at least.
Yes, right? Not like use the dirty towel that's on top of the, like, so I'm getting clean and I'm drying myself off with a dirty towel.
So it's about hospitality.
It's about, well, hospitality on the first level of hospitality, but this is also supposed to be this is supposed to be your person, right? Right?
I don't think he sees it that way, clearly.
Well, yeah, clearly he doesn't, but I don't think it's just, he just doesn't, never mind. I'm not going to go down that path, right? I'm just saying that when you have people, when you know someone is coming, and this is the routine, you have certain provisions ready for them. Okay. The fact that he does not want her to go downstairs to where the washer and dryer means that he should be assuming the responsibility to wash clothes, because she would otherwise do it unless, if that wasn't what he didn't want. Right.
Right.
So, yeah, I tell you, I don't want you to do something for whatever reason. Now I have to do that thing. That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
Right? The fact that he never said, like, I'm not going to wash your clothes. He just didn't say I'm not going. He just didn't say anything at all, and then left her to assume that he was going to go and do it, which is fucked up. Now it's like, how wet did you get your scrubs in the shower that they didn't dry overnight? Like, why doesn't she have an overnight bag?
Right. Like, you comfortable enough to spend the night over your man's house and just wear the same bullshit the next day? Like, go home. Go home.
Right. So there's a lot of things, but I think he's the asshole for basically treating her like an unwanted guest in his house.
Right. You've never been in that position though, where you just, like, you got the girl just around, like.
No, I always make sure people feel welcome and taken care of.
Okay, you wouldn't have her around if it was the case.
Yeah, or I would let her know, like, yo, I don't have no, like, my shit's fucked up right now. I'm down bad right now. So just understand if you come here. No, like, for real. Like, if I don't have any food in the house, and then she comes over, I'm like, yo, I'm just letting you know.
So you never been that level of an asshole before in your entire life, to where you were like,
no,
damn.
No, because if you want people to come back, if you want people to feel, I'm all about experience. Like, I want you to think, when you think about spending time with me, I want you to only feel good things and have good memories. Like, people don't remember what you do for them, but they do remember how you make them feel. Right. So I want to make sure that anybody who's in my presence, at the very least, is not uncomfortable. That situation sounds mad uncomfortable.
Right. And I'm blaming her for just allowing herself to be in such an uncomfortable situation.
Right. Your boyfriend and girlfriend, like, yeah, she could have went home.
Right.
She could have went home.
Right.
But maybe She's an asshole for picking an asshole to be with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think there's more we need more. But he's definitely being an asshole because I even acknowledged that. I told her myself.
Yeah. No, it. Like I said, man, if people are going to be in your space, you need to make sure that they're good. In fact, did you need anything to drink? Are you good?
I'm good. We had the shot. I mean, if we're going to drink more liquor, I mean, you got a bottle of water? I don't know.
We're not doing any more liquor, Ceez. But no, like for real, like you should really have. You should make sure people that are in your four walls are taken care of as best way as possible. And anything that you restrict them from doing, then you have to make sure that they're taken care of. Like you're taking care of it. Like not going downstairs to the laundry room because the uncle lives down there. All right. I mean, that's a reasonable thing. Like he's down there, that's his space. You're a stranger, more or less. So, or maybe he's a pedophile.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's deep,
predator, right? Yeah,
it's weird,
danger. But yeah, so go down there and like do it, or at least make sure her towels are.
Yeah, I would have. Yeah. You gotta have the towel ready. Here's a towel washcloth for you. That's anywhere. That's anywhere. You spent the night over your friend's house, like, you know what I mean? They're making sure you good.
It's fucked up.
Yeah.
It's legitimate. And then you add, like, she asks you to do something.
Ask for some
you
head.
give her a dirty towel. You don't wash your clothes, and then you're like, yo, can I get some head? Like, it's work.
Yo, these niggas, they listen to too much Future, man.
Right.
That's what it is.
I mean, if you needed something, he could at least been like, yo, can I have sex with you? Because at least you could just lay there. Like, yeah. So,
yeah.
She's not the asshole, but she should definitely choose better for her.
Yeah, I definitely blame people when they choose wrong. That's just me.
After a while.
Yeah.
You can choose wrong at first, but then after a while. All right. One more. Am I the asshole for not returning money my ex-husband sent to me mistakenly? A few days ago, my ex-husband mistakenly transferred 2 payments of $8,700 and then $9,275. So that's, it's a lot of money, right? 19 grand almost.
Yeah.
He did this around 7:40 a.m. in the morning, and I didn't notice because I worked night shift and was getting ready for bed. So my phone was charging on the nightstand. At the same time, my 4 children were at my parents', and so I planned to sleep away half the day. I guess he realized this mistake around 8:30 a.m., and by then I was dead asleep. I woke up around 4 p.m. to at least 100 missed calls and maybe 150 texts asking and begging me to send him back the money. My initial thoughts were to send it back to him, but then I remember he owed me $12,000 and hadn't paid me back since. I lent it to him 4 years ago, and he's had a million excuses why he can't pay me back. And yet, I always see him living it up. I kept the amount he owed me and returned only $5,975 and told him I deducted his debt. Since then, I've had him call me every name in the book because this was apparently money he was saving to buy his girlfriend an engagement ring. The engagement venue, etc. So according to him, he had to tell her. This then led to it ruining the surprise engagement he planned for the next weekend. His girlfriend has been bad-mouthing me and has caused me a bit of a shitstorm with me having to shut down my social media, and even his parents, who I had a cordial relationship, has been impacted by it. I discussed the situation with a friend and colleague, and it was overheard by another colleague, and he has called what I did a dickhead move. And I guess he shared it with a couple other people, and now I'm not too sure anymore on whether I'm being an asshole or not. Is this a asshole move? Edit. The money was loaned to him after our divorce. We've been divorced for 7 years, and I loaned him the money 4 years ago after he lost his job and fell behind on bills and his rent. This has nothing to do with child support payments, which of course he is also behind on, and that's being handled by a family court. There are texts of him asking for a loan, and it included repayment plan and time, but he never stuck to it. So there's a legal trail if he ever decided to involve the law, but I seriously doubt he would, because it would cost way more to sue me than I think I would have won in court, since I only deducted his debt to me. Yes, he's the father of our 4 kids. Yes, I could have sued him for the debt, but it would have cost me more money to hire a lawyer. Suing someone isn't cheap. All right. Is she the asshole?
No, I side with her.
Okay.
He sent the money, whether it was an accident or not. Like, once you send that money, it's a done deal. You can't sue that person. I think on paper, it's like, oh, it was an accident. Like, nah, that don't even work. You sent the money. It's all there. For whatever reason, like you sent that, like she was nice enough to send whatever she sent back to you.
Yeah, she sent back $5,975.
I mean, like, of course, there's more in their dynamic, like whether he takes care of the kids or not. I don't know, but maybe she's a little jealous of him moving on for sure. But I think that's something to speculate on. But it's neither here nor there.
That's good.
Yeah.
I feel like she's an asshole.
We always disagree.
Yeah. But like on principle, I understand.
Yeah.
I really do understand, and probably that would have been the only way she was going to get that money back.
Is she an asshole because all the reasons he gave for needing that money?
No, I just think that when someone accidentally sends you money, you should just send it back, regardless. Like just set everything else aside. Like that was the asshole part. But I understand in principle why. Like I'm not. I probably would have done the same thing. I would have been an asshole in that moment too. Like, I'm gonna get my money back.
Yeah.
Like, that takes a lot of balls to just be like, yeah, I'm only gonna send you back $5,900.
But for him to know why though is, I think, okay, you got to eat that.
Oh yeah, and he sounds like a prize. He sounds like a real prize. I'm being sarcastic.
Yeah, like
he's behind on child support.
Yeah,
he never paid back that loan when he was down bad, and she looked out for him. And the money he was using for some frivolous shit, like an engagement and an engagement party and all that. Like that's all frivolous, man. That's so yeah, he deserves it. I'm just speaking in principle. She just kept the money. Like, yo, I'm gonna get my $12K back.
I mean, it's something like despicable, so to speak, of someone moving on with their life, especially when they got so many like loose ends.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, he is a prize. He is a prize. I just think that could have been a conversation. Like, so when are you gonna pay me back though? Like, you really?
Yeah, maybe before.
Yeah, just be like, yeah, like before just automatically deducting the money.
Yeah,
just being like, yo, you realize you still owe me $12,000. Like you were, but then again, that makes her look petty. Like it's like, oh, you only doing this because I'm buying an engagement ring and doing this, so you're jealous of me. I can see how he would perceive that as her being an asshole. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, does she need the money? I think we need more facts if we're going to dig deeper. He could be lying for all we know about what he was about to do with it.
That's a shitty lie. Like you want to tell your ex, that would make she be like, I ain't giving shit back.
Yeah, because his parents got involved in everything. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it sounds like she's a good person. Like generally speaking, she's a good person. Actually, a very solid person for her to lend that kind of money to your ex, right? So, yeah, he could have. I just feel like when somebody accidentally does something, like that was a very opportunistic thing. Like I would have rather seen her sue him for the money than to do it the way that she did it. Because who knows? I mean, his reason is pretty frivolous. So, oh, boo-hoo, he doesn't get to surprise his girlfriend with an engagement and all that stuff. That's really sad. But what if it had been something like more serious?
I mean, what's more of an act of war? Suing somebody or just taking that money they accidentally sent you?
Taking the money because that's in a way it's like robbery.
I mean, it doesn't hold up though. After like they accidentally sent it to you, like it doesn't hold up if they sent it to you.
I know, man.
It ain't a robbery at that point.
It's a tough one, but still in all, he did not have intentions of paying that money back in that moment in time.
Yo, you beat, man. I've heard stories of motherfuckers at the stoplight, window washers come up. Yeah, I only got Cash App. Well, we got Cash App too, and they put whatever number they want in that Cash App and send it to themselves. That's your fault.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see that as the same. Like once that money's sent and you gave him whatever like jurisdiction to even have that money.
Yeah, but it's not a stranger. This is the father of your children. This is your husband. You got 4 kids together, right?
Yeah. This
is somebody that you have to have some kind of relationship with moving forward. This is not someone that you'll never see again, right? So she could have used that. I mean, she did personally, I feel like she did the right thing. She took the money, but she could also use that as leverage. Like, yo, when are you going to get me back? Like, yo, it's been 4 years.
Right, and this is a favor now that I just did. Okay.
Yeah.
I gave you all this money back,
Yeah.
knowing that you owe me 12.
Yeah, what's up? You know.
Yeah, remember me? Yeah.
Yeah. It's the leverage. It's the, again, I'm playing chess, not checkers.
Right.
Checkers is, you know,
I'm gonna go buy your fiance this ring. Like, your Beyonce. Hey, it could work too. But
right.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, nah, it's yo, that would be so fucking gangster. Like, I took the 12 and I bought her engagement ring. Yeah. When you have to deal with somebody, it's better to try to move as positively as possible. He's going to have resentment forever over this.
Yeah.
He's also the girlfriend is going to, if they get married, who's around your kids, is going to have resentment.
Yeah, just for 12,000, like, yes.
It's been 4 years, and clearly, like, she had it to give, and she wasn't beat for it over the course of 4 years, 48 months. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
you got to break it down.
Yeah,
it sounds like more time now. I don't.
It sounds, but I mean, she wasn't beat. She wasn't necessarily beat for it.
Yeah.
That, I'm just saying, she could have used that as leverage. I know ultimately she just wants the money back.
Yeah.
But
it is kind of petty now. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. She was like, oh, and then I remembered he owed me 12,000. It wasn't like, like, because he was aggressive about, my initial thoughts were to send it back, but then I remembered he owed me 12,000 and hasn't paid me back since.
And it's a black couple.
I don't have no idea. So yeah, he's a piece of shit. And it's a shame that he took her down to that level. But you know, I just again, he wasn't paying the debt. She basically got him. She basically repoed his ass.
Yeah, I mean, it is gangster.
It's gangster. It's super gangster.
Would I have done that personally? Probably not.
No, you'd have given the money.
Yeah,
back,
it takes a lot to do that for sure.
Right. Yeah. So there has to be an undercurrent of petty there.
Yeah.
Like, so, initially I was gonna send that shit back, but then
he shouldn't have sent that fucking paragraph.
Yeah.
Like, you saying all that, or was that after the fact?
I think that was in the process. He was like, yeah. I think she said that after. I don't even know. But listen, man, she is the asshole for not returning the money he sent me mistakenly, but I understand.
What do you think about the coworkers like eavesdropping and spreading this? That's kind of crazy.
Yo, man, she was around a lot of fucked up people. But I feel like she probably wasn't quiet about it because she probably was very proud of herself.
Yeah, flexing.
She was as a flex, like
yeah. And
I don't know, man. If you have to ask for confirmation from people, then you already know the answer to the question, which was her initial response was just to just send it back. Now, when she kept it, like if she was comfortable with that decision, then it would have never came up again to anybody, right? But the fact that she's trying to get confirmation from people she obviously respects at job, then she didn't do the right move, and that's why I'm saying she's an asshole.
Right, because her heart wasn't. Yeah,
man. We did it. But yeah, man, when's another party on deck? What's going on?
The next one is it's actually going to be in Chester. It's going to be in Chester, PA, that 400 capacity venue I was speaking on.
Okay.
Yeah, we do that every 3 months. So the one coming up now is going to be on the 27th of April.
27th of April. So that's what we push in, 27th of April. Do you remember the venue name?
Yeah, that's called 214 The Bridge Loft. That's in Chester, PA. That's the address of the spot. 400 capacity venue. We'll be there from 8 p.m. to 12 or 1 a.m. And it's just another club environment. Sections, bottles, hookah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yep.
What's the entry? What's it going to cost to get in?
$10 to get in, $20 at the door. So tickets are in advance. They're in my link on the bio of Instagram. All Hell Ceez on Instagram. Just click that link in the bio. You'll see it. 214 The Bridge Loft. We call this Trifecta Fest. So this is going to be the third one.
Oh, man. It sounds dope.
Yeah, man.
That sounds dope. All right. Okay. So they should follow you. All hail Ceez.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Any new music coming out anytime soon?
Yeah, I'm gearing up this gospel EP, just a few tracks. I'm dipping my toes into gospel music. You heard one of the songs. We actually were speaking on that earlier.
Okay.
It's a gospel record. Actually, that's going to be the leading single. It's going to be called You Know If You Know. Even later this afternoon, I'll be cooking up some clips for a small video or maybe some clips just to post on YouTube or Instagram just to promote.
I like that. I like that a lot, man.
Yeah, man.
That's dope. That is dope. So you going to dip into country music as well or no?
Maybe. I'm actually learning guitar right now. I'm learning guitar. And yeah, I think maybe down the future I'll probably be doing some folk music. I like folk music, not country per se, but
Okay.
Yeah, it's all similar.
It's dope. All right. It is. All right. So you know how to get up with Mr. Ceez. You can follow me at djsilk on Instagram, Spill, Threads, X, djsilk12 on the TikTok, as well as mixcloud.com. And, check out the Soul School mixes. Soul School t-shirts will soon be available. They're dope. My goal is to eventually start doing Soul School events. You can also check me out every Friday from 9 to 9:20 a.m. on 88.9 FM WEAA, the voice of the community, with the lovely Erica Kane, the amazing Lena J for Soul School. And that mix is available on demand 10 a.m., but you should listen to it live 9 to 9:20. You can either, if you're not in the Baltimore area and you can't get it on traditional radio, you can download the WEAA app. Or you can just go to weaa.org and click on the little play button. It's real easy. And you should actually check out the morning show period. It's not just from 9 to 9:20. Monday through Friday, 8 to 10. You should check it out. It's a great, positive way to start your morning because they ain't with the bullshit. Erica and Lena are great. They banter really well. So it's a good situation. So
Awesome.
Yeah. So this has been another episode of the Cultured Misfits Podcast with my man Ceez, which he will be back.
Yes, sir.
He will be back. DJ Silk. Until the next time, we are out. Peace.
Thanks for having me.
No problem.